How do you mend this broken heart?
Oh,
Hey, well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's your girl here, and I'm back with my home girl, Sharonda L. Barksdale, the coach of all coaches. It's your girl, Arnika Lavalas, aka Linky Love, and we are here with another chit chat. Now, no, today is not Sunday, but it is Saturday,
it is.
and we shall be chit chatting. Let me see if we went. Did we go live in these other places? I don't know,
I'm about to
but
check Facebook while you check TikTok.
I'm trying to. I don't even know what it looked like when I am live because I don't go live. It says I'm supposed to be live, but and I probably missed something somewhere.
It's definitely live on Facebook though.
Facebook for sure. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to put some codes in somewhere, but I might have missed that. Nevertheless, if we are not live on TikTok, we will do the clips, child. Yeah, I don't see what it. I don't know. We're gonna do clips.
Okay.
We shall do some clips. All right. So anyway, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a beautiful Saturday here in
Mhm.
Atlanta. It's a very, very nice day, not too hot,
Okay.
surprisingly, and it just feels good. I'm in a good place, good mood, ready to have great conversations with such a great person.
Awesome. Well, thank you kindly and happy belated birthday to you.
Thank
Sharonda
you.
turned 21 uh
Okay.
a couple days
Okay.
ago. Okay. And one of my favorite Geminis. I know all the other Geminis gonna be like, what? And be like, yeah, indeed. Well, good, good, good. I am here. When we finish, I'm going to find this herbal man because this frozen shoulder shit is a hot mess, and I'm over it. I am over it. This menopause or whatever it is that happens, child, is enough. It's too much. Can't
It's
do
too
it.
much. That frozen shoulder is a beast. I mean, that
Oh
thing
God.
is like no other.
It's a bald headed hoe. I'm for real. It's
For
just
real.
it's doing too much. Doing too much. All right. So today we're gonna talk about something, that's as always, they like, well, dang, Linky, you always going through some stuff. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes
Sometimes.
life gonna give us some stuff. Sometimes it's it can be
Lessons.
heavy, and a lot of times it's a lesson. It's something that we can learn from.
Yeah.
Every failure or disappointment or heartache or heartbreak is not a detriment to who we are as people. A
Mhm.
lot of times these are lessons for us to learn, and as we learn them, I'm not a gatekeeper to healing. I'm one that's like, hey, maybe it's something that I'm going through that someone else has experienced or they're experiencing, and I
Right.
want to be able to help. I want to be able
Mhm.
to help somebody. So
Mhm.
heartbreak, heartache, all of that stuff is grief.
It is.
It was amazing. And sometimes I don't even know what I'd be doing. But
Yeah.
I have a whole trauma and grief support group. And I remember one of our first sessions, because Sharonda is my shadow work coach. While I'm going through my stuff, I have a therapist, I have a coach, I
Mhm.
have a gamut of people who support me, and I love and appreciate y'all as always. But
Of
one of
course.
the things you mentioned, you were like, oh, you're going through the G word. I'm like, G word, what the hell? What you mean? Grief. I know, right? And I'm like, I do this all the time. We had just had a group, right?
Right. I was like, come on, say the G word.
Yeah, yeah. So it's grief. When we lose someone, it doesn't have to be unto death.
Hmm.
It could be divorce. It could be a relationship. It could be a situationship. It could be a friendship.
Yes.
If we lose someone, it could be your pets. We lose
Hmm.
someone that's part of our lives,
Hmm.
good, bad, or otherwise, because you might grieve some people you don't give a damn about, but they were part of your life.
Feel part.
They were part of your life. You had a routine with them. You may have seen yourself being with them forever. No, I don't know anyone truly who is with someone and looks forward to the end.
Right.
So we assume that folks will be part of our lives until the Lord say, "Hey, y'all gotta go,"
Yeah.
or
Hmm.
not. Sometimes God might be saying you gotta go.
You gotta go.
And that's a whole nother thing. But a lot of times, we lose someone, we don't realize what we're feeling is grief.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right.
I've had an opportunity since I've been able to name it. It's been helpful for me, you know, taking this journey. And
Right.
so I'm able to remind myself that, okay, my heart aches, I'm missing people, I'm just a mess, but this is grief. And
Hmm.
because I do know about stages of grief and things, I'm able to name it, and it's able to help me through my journey. You
Yeah.
know, so why is it that heartbreak can feel like emotional withdrawal and loss? You know,
Hmm. It's a beautiful question, and I want to say hi, Terrell. You got your
hey,
chat?
Terrell, back. Where did we put the chat up? Wait a minute.
It's on the bottom right. You see the chat down there?
Ah,
Your chat box. But I think when you emotionally invest in anything and you lose the thing that you were so passionate about, so loving, this happens with jobs, right? People lose
mm-hmm.
a job, you grieve that. People have a vehicle that meant the world to them. Say there's a car accident, the car stopped working, anything happens, you grieve it. When you are passionate about a person, a
Yeah,
thing, the desire, the it just feels traumatic once it goes away. It's that thing you were connected to. And I think that's how some people try to perceive grief, especially when someone is gone or there's a loss, is at least I got to have that moment. But it's
yeah,
not that simple, right? We try to interpret it. At least I had that love. At least I had the experience. But that initial feeling,
oh shoot,
the world has ended.
yes,
The world, and truly, it's true, right? The world as you knew it
my
during
shoot.
that time, that person, place, or thing was in your life, it's gone. So I think that's why it's so hard. It's so just heartbreaking. Ah, you got the chat on the screen. I love
It's
it.
on the screen, but I can't see it on my end. Well, you can see the chat. I don't know why I
I
can't
just
see it.
clicked the word chat down there, and this box opened up on the
I
side.
know I got some weird stuff with some bubbles. It's like not letting me be great.
Oh no, it's not letting you be
Well, if
great.
you would be so kind, just let if somebody starts saying something, let me know
I
so
sure
I can
will.
figure it
I got
out.
you.
Okay. But yeah,
Terrell
I
said,
think
"Hey, y'all know I'm gonna show up. Y'all know I'm gonna show up. We glad you're
I
here."
appreciate you, friend. Truly, that's part of my support system too. I appreciate you. Okay, well, you don't want me to look at the chats today. Okay, but yeah, it comes a point when you can get to that place to appreciate what you had. I think what happens is we look at what's lost.
Yes.
You know, I thought we were good. I thought we were gonna be good. Planning holidays and trips and vacations and birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. Um, and you're not there. The patterns of things that people have, the good morning text, the how you doing, the hanging out, the going out, the sleeping together, the all the different things that you have. And when that leaves, it's like, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
What is this thing called life if you're not there? I feel like, part of
Mhm.
me just got removed, is missing. What am I to do? You know, and that can hit you. That can hit you hard.
Can I share a story?
Sure.
You reminded me of so me and my husband, we divorced and remarried at one point, right? And
Okay.
so peace, yo, yo's here too.
Hey yo, I can't see you. Hey yo.
But I recall, like it was like after about 4 or 5 years of being married, it just wasn't going well. Things were not, and he was not communicating, and he didn't want to communicate with me. And we didn't have
Mm-hmm.
any children; it was just the two of us. So eventually, I kind of was like, I gotta go. I gotta leave. I'm moving out. And so that's what I did. I picked up, packed all my stuff, and left. Do you know I moved into this beautiful apartment? It was a basement apartment, and all the windows faced the lake. Beautiful. And I immediately started having panic attacks.
Oh, okay.
Immediately started having panic to a point where I would have to leave and go to the park because I felt like I was being, closed in. It felt weird. I was having, even though I chose to leave,
Mhm.
it was my decision, I still went through grief. I still had to go through the stages. I still had to do the crying and all those things because again, you've set an expectation when something's in your life or someone's in your life. You're expecting it to just stay there, just remain, and you plan around it. Then all of a
Mhm.
sudden it's not there. What am I doing? So you just that made me think of that form of grief as I've experienced more, but I just wanted
Yeah.
to share that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I can see that even though it was your choice, he was still part of your life. Y'all had things that y'all were doing, even though things may have been difficult.
Yeah.
You still accustomed to a person being there. And I think even in the worst of relationships, you were used to somebody being there, regardless if it was toxic, if God forbid if it was abusive.
Right.
We're used to someone being there.
Mhm.
And so if you do have people, and I've come across people, and they may have been in some domestic violence or intimate partnership violent type of
Mhm.
situations, and people are like, why are you upset? What are you crying for? You're free. And it's not so much, I mean, yeah, they want to be free, they want to be safe,
Yeah.
but again, this person was part of their life, good, bad, otherwise. They were there. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things that they experienced, planned, maybe even hoped I could see the better part of this
Mhm.
person. Maybe hope that I could be with this person. They can heal whatever they got going on. They can stop this shit and get it together. And I'm not there for to get it together. I'm not there to see them because they had to have felt some love or some connection, something with them,
At some point.
even though things may not have been the best. You know, a lot of times people stay because they hope that things will get better. And
Yeah.
when it doesn't, they realize they need to make an exit.
Yeah. Yo said, I'm your boogie. Bye. I would rather be alone than accepting the disrespect and BS.
I know. Trust
Mhm.
me, I know that's right.
Mhm.
I know that's right. And a lot of times people are afraid to be alone. I think that hits hard for a lot of people, especially in the how they call it. I ain't even say. I'm gonna say LGBTQ. They said ubiquitous. I don't even know. But
Ubiquitous.
listening to T.S. Madison them, but I think that comes a point when people are afraid to be alone.
Mhm.
Some relationships now. I guess maybe I'm a little nosy. I just be watching folks on
Mhm.
social media. Y'all gonna put it out there. I'm gonna watch it. Y'all put it out there to be watched, and guess what? I'm watching it.
I'm watching.
And I'm not necessarily in your business, but I'm in your business.
Mhm.
And I see a lot of relationship jumping. Things are
Mhm.
tough or whatever, they're gonna hop from one and go to the next. And then things might be whatever, and they're gonna hop from one and go to the next one. And at some point, you got to find a common denominator. Are you finding just the wrong people, or is it you?
Is it you? Yeah.
Is it you? And I had to, I'm gonna put all my stuff out there to all the exes. Don't sue me. I ain't got no money, okay? But I'm not gonna put y'all names out there now. People know scenarios because they was watching me too. Then I guess. But
Yeah.
there was a time in my life where I felt like I'm dating the same person. They just in different bodies.
Mhm.
And it's always a financial hardship on me when it's over because them gold diggers, no, they were not. I allowed those things. I had to start looking at myself. I remember there was a group I was in back in the day, Black Lesbian Love Lab. Anybody remember that? If y'all was part of that, that group taught me some things. The beginning
Mhm.
of me learning about relationships and what it looks like from me. As a therapist, I could tell y'all all kind of stuff. We can talk about some stuff, and I'm looking at stuff in books and all that. But when it's you going through it, it's different
It's
because
different.
people be like, "Y'all are healers. Why are y'all going through that? Hell, we human. We're human.
Yeah.
Humans go through stuff." And so there was a point where I felt like I keep dating the same woman. I keep dating the same woman. What is happening? I keep dating them. What is going on? And I had to really look at myself.
Yeah.
Okay, Link, what are you doing?
Mhm.
You're being a pick me, and you going with it. Going with anybody that say, let me give you some attention. Here it is.
Mhm.
Yay. Don't
Yep.
leave me. Here's some money. Y'all don't be in my inboxes. I ain't got none today. Okay. But that was a thing for me. Those were things that I was doing. And I didn't feel like I was jumping relationships, but it kind of seemed like
Yeah.
that's what was happening. I didn't allow myself time to heal. And so that brings us to the next point, the difference between missing someone and losing yourself. And so I can say, I feel like because pop culture, society, people, I don't know, I'll even go biblical at times, make you feel like you have to have somebody that completes you. You complete me. I'm with you because you complete me. And
Yeah.
in that completion, we lose who we are. It's
Yes.
like, I am partner, I
Yeah.
am wife, girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And where are we?
Come on. You
You know,
said it. And I'm gonna say, Janae Patton said hi.
hey,
Hello.
Janae.
Yo two said trying to turn them red flags purple by dripping them in blue paint.
Okay.
We think we can change behavior. It's their choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah, you'll maybe forget what I was about to say.
uh-oh.
Oh, but yeah, the thing people pacifier. Oh, here we go again. Here we go again.
I just suck on. That's
Yeah.
it.
I don't know why I got her to stop. But we look for things to pacify ourselves. We look for things to make us feel good. And most of the time, we use people for it. We use other people to make us feel better. That COVID proved it. How much people couldn't stand being with themselves.
Okay.
That lockdown messed folks up. My business was popping because people were sitting, yours too, was sitting at home with themselves and didn't really want to deal with themselves. So they came into community. And there were those who looked for the healing. That got the one-on-one clients, and they were like, they started realizing things about themselves. People don't want to fix it. The moment them doors opened from COVID, people ran back out into the streets. Everybody was outside, and now I don't have to deal with my problems anymore. I could find all the parties to go to and the things. I find all the things to pacify me so that I can get a temporary zero nutritional value from something
Yeah.
instead of just dealing with whatever my problems are. You see? So I believe a lot of people's grief comes not so much because they lost the person, but because they lost the pacifier. They lost the thing that was giving them a temporary high. They lost the thing that was making them feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And if you're already doing that for yourself, you wouldn't need it. And when it's gone, you still feel like who you are. I mean, yes, we can miss somebody, right? I
Yeah.
miss them. But did I lose my identity? Do I still love me? Was I good before I entered the relationship? Was I complete? That's the word you use. Was I complete prior to getting into the relationship? Because then after the relationship, I should still be complete, correct? Two complete people should be coming together. So I think people are grieving more so the feeling versus the person a lot of times.
Ooh, I'm gonna snap. How to snap? They ain't snapping no more. They doing this. What is that? I don't know what that is. But you said it. You said a lot right there. People looking for that pacifier that has no nutritional value. Explain that part for me, because you said that. What do you mean by that?
I mean that. So even for a baby, when you breastfeed them, there's nutritional value to the tit, right? There's a nutritional value for them getting a mother's milk. The pacifier is to stop the baby from crying sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's not to feed them. It doesn't give them any form of growth. It's to soothe them for a temporary time. And
Yeah.
then even as the child grows, they can no longer live off of breast milk. They have to go to solid foods. So there's always some form of nutritional value. That's how I see the healing process. We go through stages of how we shift what we're consuming.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about dating the same person over and over again. It's like permanently staying on the tip.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That part. That part. And I think a lot of times, because
Mm-hmm.
we have, like you said, that emotional support, no nutritional value, we have stuff within us that I don't know if we are afraid to heal it, don't know we need to heal it, and the other person, place, or thing soothes that.
Mm-hmm.
That's soothing for us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are alone, we don't know who we are because we never discovered who we are. You know, we always felt, and it's been, it's been me. I felt like I'm so successful with everything that I do in my business.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a ghetto superstar. Okay, I feel like I'm a ghetto superstar to a degree, right? But I have no partner. It's like, what is life? And so I tend to throw everything else away. Hey, you got this award. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Hey, you've been on this platform and panel. Hey, famous people put you on their commercials and all this stuff. Yeah, but I don't have a partner. It's like, well, but you got all this other stuff going on,
You got all
you
this.
know. And I
Uh-huh.
think pop culture, music basically tells us this. And
Mhm.
so for me, during this leg of my healing journey, it's been hitting hard. It's truly been hitting hard. And what I am coming to realize is not just the person that I lost that I'm grieving. I think I'm grieving everybody that I was with before and all of my initial uh, trauma and grief from stuff that
Mhm.
I didn't realize that I was sucking on these people for
Mhm.
them to soothe me. So so the grief is not the grief is has lineage. It's long. It's some
Mhm.
long standing stuff
Mhm.
that's being grieved, and I think it's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's very uncomfortable. And with this shoulder stuff that I've been dealing with, I saw something earlier I shared with you that grief. A lot of times there's a book I started reading and I need to. There's no reason why I shouldn't pick it up again because I got nothing but time. The body keeps a score, and it's talking about
Oh,
trauma
oh
and how
yes.
people deal with mental health and physical health issues because of different traumas and things that we experience. And
Absolutely.
so I'm curious if the chronic pain, the inflammation, and this bullshit with this damn shoulder
Mhm.
is not part of that grief that's held in my body.
Body. Mhm.
Because with chronic pain, if you look at pain, we did a thing a while back when they was on this whole opioid is a epidemic, and they didn't
Mhm.
think crack was, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But
Yeah.
that whole opioid epidemic deal, and why the people on the opioids and they falling out in the streets and it's killing everybody, which it was bad. Don't get me wrong, it was bad.
Sure.
All of it's bad.
Yeah.
And then people started researching. People started
Mhm.
trying to figure out what is going on. And I remember as a young therapist, we had to do some screenings. And part of the questions in the screening was asking, was there ever any trauma, any mental health conditions going on, or any family members had any mental health,
Yeah.
because the idea was people who have chronic pain, the pain increases with these different stressors, therefore they're going to want more medication.
Yeah.
And as they take more medication, they could get addicted to it. It might kill them. You never know,
Yeah.
what they might unalive them, whatever the case may be. And so, keeping that in mind, when we are stressed, when we have trauma, when we have these abandonment issues, when we have all these other things, whatever illness, whatever we got going on, it's gonna amplify. It's gonna
Mm.
be on 10 and
Yeah.
10,000.
Yeah.
So looking at Larnika, what happened to her? She
Mhm.
got she had a car wreck. She had cancer.
Mhm.
Excuse me. She had cancer. Let me get some more water. I was looking at these other videos. I drink more water. I don't even know.
Yo, that's the name of the book, by the way.
The body keeps a score. That one.
So okay, so then Denise said the body keeps the score is a great book. All the trauma
Yes,
stored in it. Absolutely.
man. And I can tell you, with all the stuff I experienced, and you know, grief and trauma has been,
Yeah.
and I think in relationship it seems like it paused, but it is not gone. It just
It's
might
not going.
pause. Maybe the ideal of it is paused, but it's not gone. And then when that pacifier leaves, all of it shows up. And I
Yeah.
think maybe that's what's happening with my body.
Yeah.
This damn frozen shoulder shit. Okay. Nevertheless, what do you do about it?
Well, part of that, my personal belief, because I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 10, 11 years ago. And that's the body not even be able to interpret when there actually is a something stimulating pain. It's just stress. All of a sudden will flare my body up so bad. Sometimes it's different parts. Sometimes it's the whole body. One of the things I had to learn, well, one was definitely a diet change. I don't think it's just, let's just look at the trauma. I think there's a compilation, a holistic approach to take when it comes to that type of stuff. But definitely lowering the inflammatory foods in your diet, but also doing the mental health work, getting the therapist, getting the life coach, doing the, we talked about earlier, reparenting work, doing the shadow work, doing the things that are going to address the deeper issues. Because unequivocally, nobody would ever be able to convince me that physical pain doesn't come from some form of trauma. I know fibromyalgia came from multiple forms of trauma that I went through my lifetime up to that point,
Yeah.
until my body just was like, I can't take no more. It had to come out. And I guess I wasn't fully dealing with those things. I wasn't having an encounter. And sometimes, like you said earlier, we don't even realize how much our actions and our behaviors and the results of all of that is from trauma, from things that we experienced from our parents, the things that we experienced from broken hearts, from people who have passed away, not processing the trauma, not processing the grief, not allowing ourselves to fall apart. And especially as Black women, we really try not to let ourselves fall apart, because we swear the world ain't gonna be right if we do. If we don't process that, the physical, when people come to me and they start talking about physical pain, I already go there. I go straight there. So what happened? Something happened. When did it happen?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We
Unequivocal.
have to learn to we have to learn to sit with the pain.
You have to.
We have to learn to sit with the pain. And the crazy part, last night I was like, yeah, I'm telling myself, oh, he got me a drink. I'm like, I need to numb this pain.
Yeah.
I was taking all of the over the counter stuff. I need to numb this pain. Like, what is going on? I need to numb this pain. And I think part of me laying still, I had the heating pad, I had the ice pack, and I had to sit with it. And
Yes.
that's metaphorically, I have to sit with the pain. There's nothing I can do that'll quicken it, because I talked to somebody about frozen shoulder, and y'all know I posted it for those who follow me, and everybody gave me some good tips. Speaking of holistic, I'm going to find the herbal man. I'm gonna let y'all know about that. Not the other herbal man, the other herbal man. But holistic stuff, because there's stuff from the earth, from the ground, that we can take that can be helpful. But nevertheless, sitting with the pain, I think is helpful. And I
Yeah.
know that I did not allow. I sat with it for a little bit, and previously sat with it for a little bit, and without really thinking about it, I found a pacifier.
Yeah. We
Whether it
want to.
was a
Yeah, we try to make ourselves busy to ignore it.
yeah,
We'll
oh
sign up
yeah,
for a bunch of class. You'll see the people who got all the degrees, 50 million certifications, all because they don't want to have to deal with what's going on. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to step on them toes over there. My bad. We will find the ways to get it out. For me, you can look at me and tell.
okay,
Tattooing.
yeah,
It was tattooing for me. I have at least 30 tattoos. I
oh
have
wow,
piercings. I have lots of piercings on my body. And the times that I've been tatted or pierced are usually times I was going through some level of pain, emotional pain. And so it's easier to take that kind of, just like kids that cut, the cutting.
yeah,
It's similar to that, finding a way to release the pain without actually dealing with the problem. Without actually dealing with the problem. If you sat down with a lot of people who are tatted like me and who are pierced like that, and try to dig into their past, you'll find the trauma. There's something there, that there's an owie that they can't even reach themselves. And so we find other ways to release it. We get something that's that temporary little pacifier to make us feel good for a minute. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're back facing it again.
yeah.
It's going into the shoulder and freezing it.
Oh God,
It's going
yes,
into the knee. Y'all are spraining your ankles and stuff like that because you're avoiding something, and you're not even paying. And that's part of not even paying attention to the body. When people sprain their ankles and things like that, just randomly out of nowhere, I rolled my ankle and stuff. We're avoiding something. It's something that's usually here. And I can remember right after my husband transitioned that random, my son, number one, broke his foot right after. I don't know if you remember that. About a week after my husband passed away, a week or
yeah,
two, He broke his foot, and I know I heard something, but it's just weird. You kind of you close in here mentally. You don't even notice like your fingers, arms, anything. It's like everything shut down to here. So we easily can injure ourselves and hurt ourselves when we're avoiding.
Yeah,
It's the easiest thing to do. So it shows up.
it
That
definitely
it's
shows
gonna,
up.
it's gonna come out one way or another. And I suggest y'all do it inside somebody's therapy chair. Do
Okay.
it in the therapy chair. Come get this shadow work coaching real quick because
Come get what
otherwise,
you need. Definitely. Definitely get what you need. And a lot of times, speaking of therapy and shadow work coaching, I don't know how you could get away from it. I don't know. I don't know. But I can say in therapy, a lot of times when we start the process, we're giving people coping strategies and coping tools.
mhm,
And they feel good and they stop coming. And it's like that coping is just gonna help you in the meantime. I was talking to a group a while back and I tried to explain it. Breathing techniques, journaling, all of those things are good coping strategies,
mhm.
but you got to get to the root
The-
of what's going on to be able to heal. A lot of times if you get clients who've had therapists before, that I don't want to talk about all of the other stuff. I want to talk about where I am today. Well,
mhm,
honey, we got to talk about all of the other stuff to understand what's happening today.
mhm.
Because had you probably really cleared it, you might not be here today unless it's truly something brand new that's happened. And even then, that old stuff still, that those ghosts, they
They
still
will.
linger.
Mhm.
They linger. It might not be right in your face and come to your forefront when you're dealing with something, but those things linger, and
Yes,
they influence whatever we're going through today in some kind of way.
absolutely.
It definitely has influence on that. So
Yeah. The room is being very interactive today. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Just saying stuff like "say it, girl."
okay, okay. Y'all know I'm Baptist. I'm gonna go shout and run. Ain't nothing wrong with my knees right now. It's just my shoulder. Okay, but
Yo says CBD oil is medicine. It doesn't have to have THC in it. True. Yeah.
and there are different things that we can take and use that are
Mhm.
holistic. Like you said with diet,
Yeah.
baby. I have been craving more sugar, and I've taken sugar out of my diet before, but this year I've been wanting more sugar. And I would lose my appetite, and I want to eat. But damn it, if you had some candy, look out. And I can agree that's probably amplifying some stuff too.
Mhm.
Yes, I've experienced trauma. Yes, I'm going through a heartbreak. But my diet has just been trash. And I'm like, you know what? All this fried food because I don't feel like cooking. And if I cook, I don't want to clean the kitchen. And
Yes.
anybody that knows me, if I don't clean nothing else in my house, I'm gonna clean the kitchen because I don't want no bugs and nothing coming in here.
Okay.
And I have just been doing just all kind of wild shit because I hadn't been in the mood. I hadn't been feeling it.
Mhm.
It's been depression. I've been
Yeah.
depressed. I've been moving and grooving and doing everything I need to do, but I've been depressed.
Yeah.
It's been a tough one.
Yeah.
It has been a tough one. And so I have decided, I got to do better with taking care of me, even in this process. Um, all that good candy, I'm gonna have to sit that down and get some fruit that don't have a lot of sugar in it, and do all these other things because I gotta take care of this temple.
Come on.
Going through this grief, yes, but if I'm all beat up just from stuff, and I had a drink, but I don't drink like that. Y'all know me. I have the same cabinet I had built however many years ago with the same look in it. Okay. If somebody give me a gift, add to it.
Yeah.
And,
To it.
it's there. But with food and different things that we consume, being able to exercise, I ain't exercised truly since I don't know when.
Yeah.
Lack of motivation, but I know I need to move my body.
Mm-hmm.
These are things I know I need to do that I'm going to do, that I'm determined to do.
Yeah.
And I'm giving myself some grace. I am
Absolutely.
definitely giving myself some grace as I learn more about myself in going through this process.
Yeah.
So now we've talked about how attachment wounds and abandonment and trauma can intensify the grief.
Mm-hmm.
And so healing without pretending you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all know my mama, and she probably watching. Hey mama. She gonna see it at some point. My mama always like, you put all your business on that Facebook. It's like I'm being transparent,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Am I okay? Not really. And it's okay to not be okay. And for me, that's one of the main things that I want people to see.
Mhm.
If I'm advocating for mental health and I'm telling people it's okay to not be okay, and
Yeah.
I give you a picture of perfection of my life, then what does that do? How am I advocating one thing and then doing something else
You're
behind
doing
closed
something
doors?
else. Hmm.
That would make me the biggest hypocrite. Do people who are healing have to put all their business on Facebook? No. But what
Right.
I'm saying is it's okay to not be okay.
Hmm.
And with me sharing these things, this is my example of, hey, even a therapist, even a
Yeah.
person that might be a ghetto superstar, you know, goes through things.
Yeah.
And there's a healing journey that needs to be had. And hey, while I'm going through it, y'all can join me if you want to, so we can learn and heal together. I
Right.
think community is important.
Right.
I think community is really important. Even though individually we like to have a person and all these other things, community is important
Absolutely.
because we all, I mean, it's funny how we all tend to gravitate towards each other.
Hmm.
For those of us who've experienced things, even healers, um, we
Right.
here. Okay,
Right.
we're here, right? And other healers who are watching, we all here. We all found each other. We
Yes.
all found each other.
Hmm.
And the common good is to help our communities, our prospective communities, and people out there who are in our grasp and our reach to be
Right.
able to heal as well. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I have
Yes,
myself.
Terrell. It takes a village. You said
It's
community is very important.
it
It takes
is.
a village.
It
Hmm.
takes that village because, man, I tell you, if I didn't have that village, I don't know. Y'all
Yeah.
might be giving me a white jacket to put on and shipping me off somewhere. Okay. They be like, what happened to Miss Lavlis? Wasn't she our crisis counselor? She didn't win the crisis herself. It be like that.
It'd be like
And
that.
I think the fact that I think more people, if they felt safe enough
Yeah.
to be able to share what they're feeling, it
Hmm.
can help more people to heal.
Yeah.
Because society wants to say, oh, something wrong. How y'all do this? We human. We gonna go through stuff. We
Period.
gonna have it. Yeah.
That's something I used to feel because, of course, I'm an empath. So whether or not somebody's grinning at me or not, I could tell what's really going on in here and in here. I could always sense it.
Mhm.
And I remember growing up and seeing my pastor sometimes and feeling his sadness. And I remember even now just thinking, I wonder who he talks to. I wonder who helps him. Healers need healers. We're people like to put people on a pedestal and make them superhuman and not capable of going through some of the worst things ever. I'm living like you are every single day. I know a lot of stuff. I'm very good at what I do as a shadow work coach. There's no, y'all know how I feel about me as a life coach. Can I coach myself? Hell no. I cannot coach myself. There's
Okay.
things that I've learned and I have definitely healed through because of some understanding I have about myself. But my triggers still come. I'll still act a fool. Depression shows its head. I get anxious sometimes. It's just the nature of being human. And we're all trying to grow in that space of healing so that the trigger doesn't set us off for the next 4 months. Maybe it just sets me off for the next 4 hours instead. But we're still human. And that's part of community too. And I love working with Linky because I love transparency. I love authenticity.
I'm gonna just show it out to you.
Must show love. But people still trust us as healers. That's the beautiful part. We can have the
that,
conversations like this. That's why they know it's real because they're hearing the healing modalities.
that part. That part. Um, so take time to process the pain. Don't suppress it. It hurts. It sucks. It does. You know, talking to someone, taking time for self, talking to a professional can be important. Um, Journaling, going for walks. I got Vivica. Child, look, I got Vivica. Y'all can't see Vivica. Poor Vivica. I don't know what's the matter with Vivica. Vivica growing, but then she got some dead parts. That's grounding. That's my plant. My plant name is
Are you
Vivica.
watering because
They
oh
said
thank
she
you,
don't need
Lord.
a lot of water, but I put some water in and I bring in the house at night and I put out during the day. I'm treating it like a puppy. I don't want to get a puppy because I ain't trying to clean up no poop all day and all that stuff. I ain't got time for it.
We're
Them
gonna find
fish
out if we have a
coming.
green thumb or not. We're gonna see.
We're gonna find out. I'm gonna get some more because I got some stuff came from my patio. And so I was just because my shoulder was hurting last night and I didn't feel like being bothered with it. But I did get some more stuff for the patio, so I'm gonna have to give y'all
Okay.
another view of the stuff. But doing things for self, honoring yourself. Then what did we talk about earlier? Reparenting.
Hmm.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
What you were telling me? How does one reparent? Because a lot of times we listen to us talk, we
Hmm.
listen to other people talking. A lot of people are sharing their opinions or their journeys of different things they had to do in experiencing trauma and grief and heartbreak. And one thing I heard the other day was about reparenting. And
Yeah.
so, Sharonda, what was it you were saying earlier about that?
Yeah. So, for those who know shadow work, we're going back into the recesses, the shadow of the mind, where the unconscious thoughts are, and usually those are formed between the ages of 0 to 8, 0 to 9, somewhere in there. So our thoughts about the world are formed during this time. When you reparent, you're going back to that space. Where was the trauma that existed there? What did people make you believe about yourself? What did they tell you? You're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough. Well, how did you feel? And then we go back to that space and talk to her or him or they. We go back and we speak to that space and like, I'm so proud of you. I love you. I want to be here for you. And vice versa. My younger self speaks to me. She helps parent me now. She be like, you getting it, girl. You doing your thing. Good job getting up this morning. It's that having that conversation with your younger self because sometimes we didn't get what we needed. And a lot of times it wasn't our parents' fault or anybody else. They just didn't know how to do it either. If they knew how to do it, they would have done it. So sometimes you gotta take. There's not sometimes, all of the time. When you become an adult, you're responsible for you. You're
Mm,
responsible for your feelings. You're responsible for doing the work to get the healing you need. So if that means I gotta go talk to little Sharonda, then I'm about to go talk to her. Little girl, you were beautiful. I don't know why they made you feel like that. I had a parent calling me tar baby all the time because I was darker. I was, little things like that. Girl, your skin complexion is beautiful. Your hair was perfect. I had all those jokes. Your ankles are fine. I had to tell her, you gotta love this. There ain't no way for me to go turn this body in and get a new brand. I wish I could. If I could, we would start some things popping out here in the streets. You feel me?
yeah.
But truly, I had to learn. You have to love this as it shows up, and you have to love her, him, they when you were a child, and so y'all have that conversation back and forth so that you can do that healing work. That's one of the things I have people do as a shadow work coach. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day that when you're triggered and you react, it's the inner child that's reacting. And to be able, we talked about the pause last time, being able to pause and breathe and understand what's happening before you respond. That takes the
Mm-hmm.
growth. And so remembering childhood, I know as painful as it may be for a lot of people, think about you as a child.
Yeah.
What did you need in that moment?
Indeed.
What can you give yourself now? You may be like, how I can go back. You can't go back, but that child is with you. That child, you are that child.
You are
That
that
stuff
child.
that you need, stuff
Yeah.
that however you react or respond to things is based on what was planted, those seeds that
Yeah.
were planted inside of you. And so if you want your life to look differently, if you want to feel differently, something has to change.
Yeah.
And looking for validation through other people is not it.
Yes.
You have to validate yourself. You have to. So that's why you talk to your inner child. Because if
Mm-hmm.
I just listen to what Sharonda says, and Sharonda's giving me all this stuff, Sharonda's become my new pacifier.
Yep.
I'm gonna be sucking on Sharonda, child. Okay.
Don't be
She
sucking
say
up.
we ain't doing that, Linky. Don't know. Pull up, okay. And so I have to do this for me because people will fail and disappoint us, and not because they tripping, and sometimes they are, but not because they're tripping, but because they're human. They got their own stuff. If
Right.
I look at my parents had their own stuff. I can see for me almost being 49 years old, living with my parents and being a part of my parent, we were in each other's lives.
Yeah.
I could see growth. I can remember when they were probably, I guess, in their 30s. My 30-year-old parents was hell.
Yeah.
Hey, Ma, I know you watching. Okay, I'm sorry. She gonna don't be putting my business out there, but I can say my 30-year-old parents was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When my sister came along, my parents were in their 40s. I often feel like, how she get more stuff? How she get to do more things than me? What is going on? But there was a point
There
from
was
their
growth.
30-year-old selves to
Mm-hmm.
40 to 50. Now I'm knocking on 80's door. It's like, where these
Mm-hmm.
folks come from? I wish these were the 30-year-old parents, that I needed at that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized people have to grow. People
You
can
have
only
to
give you
grow.
what they got. And a
Yes.
lot of times, parents, people in general will project their own stuff,
Yep.
their own insecurities, their own self doubt, and all that other stuff gets projected onto their children.
Right.
So any parents out there, y'all be careful of that stuff,
Yeah.
because you may think, well, I just want the best for them and I want to give them tough love. But that tough love can develop a lot of shadows that they got to deal with when they get older.
Yeah.
So love
Yes.
your kids, do what you got to do, but just think about how you're talking to them, just
Yeah.
the different things you're saying and how that affects them when you become an adult. A lot of that stuff is carried. I can look back and realize, okay, my parents had some tough parenting skills. That didn't mean they didn't love me. They just wanted the best for me. They knew,
Right.
you know, they knew Linky Love, Larnika. They was like, who the hell is Linky Love? They knew Larnika was destined for greatness, and they didn't want me to mess it up.
See
That part. That
that
part.
part. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So rebuilding, we get to our last point.
Mhm.
Rebuilding after heartache.
Yeah.
How do you reconnect with your identity after relationships end? After the relationship is ended, how do you reconnect with your identity?
My personal opinion is if you have to reconnect after the relationship, you never connected before the relationship.
True.
You didn't have one before, because you really shouldn't be losing yourself. When we lose ourselves, it's because we didn't really know. Because I've been there, and that's not judgment. I have been there when I've gotten into a relationship ended, and I almost didn't know who I was. I think we have to get to know what we need. What do you need from life, from
Mm-hmm.
love, from it all? What do you need? If you don't know that, number one, you're going to keep jumping into relationships that's not going to satisfy that anyway. It's not going to be nourishing. But knowing what you need and learning how to provide it to yourself is the beginning of that. I'm a hopeless romantic. I love relationships. I love coaching relationships. It's my favorite type of coaching because you see two people having to deal with their shadows and they're coming together and teaching each other about each other. It's beautiful. But you have to know what you need. Each individual has to know what they need before they come together. Because now you're trying to get me to satiate parts of you that you don't even know. You don't even know how to fix it yourself. And now you want me to fix everything that feels horrible about you.
Part.
As after you've gotten out of a relationship, that's the time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, who am I? What do I need? How do I do this better the next time? I'm not going to be afraid. I'm looking at somebody of being in a relationship again. I'm not running from love. Okay. Because I'm running to me. I'm going to run
Yeah.
to the things that are best about me. The grief still is going to happen. We're going to lose. When we lose someone, it's still sad. But you don't get into a place where you've lost your identity. You have to be able to know who you are. Who am I? What do I like to do? I ask people that all the time. What do you like to do? Oh, I don't know. They don't even know what they like to do. What do you like to
Mm-hmm.
do? What are your favorite foods? What's your favorite color? What are the things that make you you? And then go and face who you are so that you don't lose yourself in the midst of a relationship.
Yeah.
But
That part
everybody don't agree with me
indeed.
when it comes to
That
that.
part
That's how I
indeed.
feel.
Hey, but you know what? Eventually, you're gonna keep bumping your head until you get tired. So it sinks in at some point. It truly does. It
At some
should.
point,
You're gonna keep
nobody
bumping your head.
teaches us that either. You're not taught
I
in
think
church, school, anywhere that. Hmm.
Oh, we're taught you're
Self
supposed to be in
love and how
partnership.
to know who you are.
You
Hmm.
can't be by
Hmm.
yourself. You're supposed to be together. You're
Hmm.
supposed to have this. What's your worth if you don't have somebody with you? If you're not married, family, all this other stuff. That's what they teach us. They don't teach us how loving yourself is important. How
Yeah.
spending time with self is important. You know, creating emotional boundaries is important.
Ooh.
You know, a lot of times I can say I let mine just go just because I wanted to make the other person happy because I didn't want them to leave.
Yeah.
You know, so being able to create those things, being able to create space for self, um,
Let me say
learning
something about
your.
that. I want to say something about those
Go
boundaries.
ahead. Okay.
That's part of your self love. You've got to love yourself so much that if a person is habitually crossing a boundary that you said, you do not bend to their will. You don't say, okay, well, I'll just allow myself to feel uncomfortable just so this person can be with me. I'll go, I'm going to let, if I'm somebody that doesn't like for people to be out 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in a relationship with you. We're in a committed relationship, and you out habitually at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock. And I'm saying to you, I'm not comfortable with that. But that's what you're gonna keep doing. That I love me enough to say this relationship doesn't work for me. We don't work for each other. You have a thing, I have a thing. Those boundaries are important. You have to know where your line is and not let people push over the line because you're going to sacrifice parts of who you are. You're going to sacrifice you. And that's how we lose identity. You sacrifice the thing that you know kind of breaks your heart every time they say a word or they do a certain thing, but they don't really mean nothing by it. No, I already told you I don't like. I have dated a man. I had to be like, are you looking at this woman's ass? Well, at least tell me to look too. Can I look too? Now, when you tell me, girl, look, now we both looking. All right, we cool. When I have to look at you, your head is following. Bye. I love me, Justin. I don't care. We don't
Yeah.
have to be together. You could be a single person and do all that. Have fun.
Do it by yourself.
Do
That's
it by
it. That's it. I think once you know your self worth, you're not gonna allow that stuff.
yourself. Mm-mm.
And people can say what they want. Oh, she too hard, she too tough. You know what you want and what you don't want.
That's
You
it.
know, and I think that's a big difference in some of these dating shows when people like, I want somebody that have this kind of bank account and that kind of bank account. Well, that you know, that's totally different.
It's
That's
different.
totally different, you know. But knowing your worth, knowing what you bring to the table in a relationship, and finding inner peace with yourself, you know, it can be tumultuous. It could be, oh man, just so agonizing going through heartbreak. But I think the discovering of self, or even rediscovering of self,
Mm-hmm.
um, once you get through the first stages of the grief, the pain, the heartache, and all of that stuff, when you get to the acceptance and you're rebuilding, I think that's a blissful point because you can create your life to be whatever it is that you desire it
Ooh.
to for yourself. I know there was a point in time in my journey. I was like, oh, when I'm dating, I want to travel. I want to get with somebody. I want to be able to travel. I went on two solo trips by myself. I went to Vegas. I always wanted to go to Vegas, and I went on a cruise. And I remember people like, you by yourself? Yep. You by yourself? Yep. Who you with? I'm with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had fun. I got to eat what I want. I got to lay down as much as I wanted to. Not to hear nobody talk about, you gonna sleep the whole time. Yep.
Yep.
I did that. I did what I wanted to. And so just if you are going through heartbreak and relationship grief right now, give yourself some grace. It gets better. Give yourself time. If you gotta block people, block them. Looking at social media, looking at what they're doing and trying to predict stuff is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see people without me. And that's the truth. I don't want to see what you're doing without me. It makes me feel like, oh, you don't miss me. You don't want to. I don't need that. I don't need that. And so if you have to put some distance, do what you got to do until you get to a calm space, and maybe you can, reintegrate that back into your life, being able to be social media friends or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Um, but take that time for yourself. Talk to somebody. If you need to try shadow work coaching, Sharonda's available. The good thing about coaches, they're not bound by states. I'm a therapist. It's me in Texas, child. If you're in Texas, that's the best I can. That's the best we got. right there, you know. But it gets better.
Mhm.
It does. It gets better if you want it to get better. If you allow it to get better, you got to trust the process.
Yeah, that's
I'm
us.
learning to trust the process. I didn't know I was such a control freak. Didn't know that. That's one thing I'm discovering about myself. I want to know how it's going to start and end. I want to start it and end it myself too. There's a time that we have to have faith in things that we cannot see and trust that God is going to lead us in and guide us. God, the divine, whoever you know subscribe to, they're gonna make certain that we good all the way.
Mhm.
So it's about trusting the process. So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So it's about time for us to wrap. Sharonda, you got some last parting words for us?
Absolutely. You know, for me, it's always going to be about you. The
Hmm.
best partners in a relationship are two individuals who love themselves unapologetically and authentically. If you can love yourself, just fall in love with yourself, not try to fix nothing. Today, I
Hmm.
love me. I'm so in love with me. I am more than enough. I am powerful. I'm capable of creating a life that I want. Say all the good things and do it every day. Because the more strength you have in you, the easier it is to be in the most healthy relationships and know when to walk away from the bad ones quite quickly. So do that work.
That part. All right. So as we close, I do want to thank you all for joining us. Those of you who joined us live on this beautiful Saturday. For those of you who get the playback, we appreciate that. This has been a cool little something something. This chit chat. You know, we
Yes,
we have to see when we can chit chat again. Now, y'all know I'm telling you, we black. So sometimes our time might not be the same time every week. I'm
you'll
just saying.
find us. You'll find
We'll be there. We're gonna let you know when we coming and when you find us, great. And if you didn't catch us live, catch the playback.
yeah.
All right. So on that note, I'm gonna find the herb man. Y'all be blessed.